Hi guys, today I wanted to show you how you can design this beautiful navigation bar using CSS and HTML and a little bit of JavaScript. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do just now. So the first thing we need to do is to have a folder where we're going to store all our files. So I have created a folder here named navbar, and I'm going to open it using Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to use Visual Studio Code to write basically almost my HTML codes and my CSS codes. So if you have another editor, that will just be fine. So the first file I'm going to create will be my HTML file. I will call it index.html. Oh, sorry, index.html. And I'm also going to create my CSS file, kind of get all my files ready. So I have my two files. In my index.html, I will write doc, press enter. So I have the skeleton for my HTML file, and I will give a title to this web page that I am creating. I will call it navigation bar. Okay, so you can call it whatever you want. And so I will also quickly link my CSS to this inside my HTML file. So I write link style sheet, and the type will be text CSS, and then href will be style .css. Okay, style .css, because if you can see in my folder, all my files are, in the same folder. Okay, so that's why I write style.css. Okay, I think that's it. So I have linked my style.css inside my HTML. That means that whenever we're going to write specific CSS codes in here, it will definitely affect the corresponding tags in my HTML folder. So since this is a navigation bar that we want to create, so the first tag I will write is the navigation tag. So I'll write nav, and inside nav I will give a class of I will say nav menu. This nav menu, we were going to use it in the script to add a little bit of animation to the navigation, as you could see at the beginning of the video. And our navigation will also have a header. Okay, as you could see. So I would say header, and I'll give it this writing of our menu, and I'll add a span tag, right, X. Okay, so that's it. So after the header, now it's time for me to create my menu items. So I will do that by adding an unordered list, and inside that tag I will add a list of menu items. I will say li, and the class will be menu item. Menu item. So these menu items, I want them to be actually be links where you can click and help you to redirect you to another page. So I'll write another tag, a tag, and then I'm going to put the reference, href, and I'm going to write this. So we're going to use that also in the script. And here I'm going to give a name to this menu item. I will say home, for example. Like if we click on this, we want it to be able to redirect us to our home page. So what I will do is I will copy this list and I will paste it and I will write company. So with this one, I want to have submenu items. So what I will do, I will inside this li, I will write another unordered list and I will give it class of submenu. Let's say submenu. And inside, I will say li class submenu item. Close it. I'll make it a link as well. So 0. And I would say about us. So basically all the information concerning the company. And I will copy and paste. So here I will say our mission, and here I'll say our vision. I will add another menu item that will also have submenus. So I'll just copy the one I created before and paste it down. And so here I'll write services. So as submenu items, I can say, I can list all the services that the company is offering. I say web design, for example. I can also say graphic design, and down I will say digital marketing. All right. And so I think I will add the last one just after this. I'll add it here. I'll remove this one. And I will call it contact us. And inside, I'll say request a quote. And what else? I can say donate to us. Okay, so let me add last one. Just to populate, to put sufficient menu items. So here I will say pricing. Okay. So these are my menu items and my menu sub items that I have added. And so after this one, I will also need to have my navigation footer. Okay, and inside that footer, I will add a button. Okay, and area label, I'll give it a label of toggle menu. And inside I will say footer button. Okay, so that's actually it. So if we come back to see it on our browser, this is how it looks, pretty much like a skeleton. So now we need to put some CSS to like give it a nice format. And so we will go to the CSS file, and the CSS file, so we will put some styling to the whole of our page. So when I write the star here, it's to actually to specify that all the code that I will write inside these brackets are going to affect the whole of the page. And I would say font family. So concerning the font, and so which font can I choose? Okay, I will choose this one that the browser is the editor is suggesting. And after the font size, I say box sizing. I would say border box. And after that, I'll say color. So this will be the color of the writing. I would say 3, okay. And the line height 1.5. Okay, I think that pretty much it. If I try to refresh my page, you see the format of my menu items has changed, even the button and all that. So we are good to go. So I'm going to add another for style to my page. So I'm going to start styling my body. And so in the body, I would like to give a background color. If I say no, let's say for example black. Now also I will, instead of giving the background color, I will rather give it a background image. And I'm going to put the URL where to find my image. I think I have an image in my folder here. So this is the image, and the name of the image is image1. So that's what I'm gonna write here, image1, and that jpg. Okay, so I write image1 because this CSS file and my image are in the same folder. Okay, so that's why I will just directly write image1. So I'm gonna add a little bit of styling again. I say margin, I'll say 0. So I want my background image to cover the whole page, on my screen. And I will say background size, I will say cover. So let me see how it looks. All right, so it covers the whole page. Okay, so now I will add another CSS style. So in my HTML, what do we have next? So the next tag I have given the size to my body, so it's the nav tag. So for the nav tag, I will say I want, so I will give a position of relative. After the position, I will give it a weight of, let's say 300 pixels. And I'll also give it a margin of, let's say 40 pixel. Let me say 50. And a border radius of 5 pixels. I'll save it. If I come back, okay. So this is my navigation. If I give it a background color of white, for example, I will see how it will look like. Okay, so we see the border radius is picking and all that. So I'll add a little bit of I think that's good for the moment. I'll add the nav. So I'll remove this one for now. And that nav, the next tag is the header, okay? So I want to give some more style to my header. I'll say nav header. And so I would say font weight of 500. And what else? The color of the font will be white. I'll say white here. And after that, I'll say display. Display block. Okay. So I'm styling my header, and I need to add a padding. I would say 10 pixels. And what else? Okay, so I will also need to give it a border radius of 5 pixels. And let me give it a background. Okay, a background, I will make it a little bit transparent. I want the red colored background for my nav header. And so I guess this, so I'll put 0.8. And let me see how it's going to affect it. Okay, that's cool. So the next thing is I need to You see this X that I put here, I want it to float on the right. So I'll say nav header span. And I would say, what should I say? Float right, so that it will float right. Okay, now we see it on the right here. And after float right, I need to give it a background. Of transparent. The font size 1.5, yeah. And the padding of 0. Border, I say none, no border. Line height, I would say 1, 2, no. 1, I think it's okay. And cursor. Okay, so when the cursor is going to point on it, okay. So yeah, I guess that's it. Okay. So if we refresh, okay, so that's it. And we're going to add another CSS style. What is it that we need to add? I think we will add the navigation again. All the links of our navigation, we're going to style them. So we will say display block. And the text decoration, none. And padding, we say 0.7 em and 1.7. And the border radius, we'll still give it a 5 pixel. Okay. And so we will still do the nav a hover. So when the cursor, or when like we will point the mouse onto it, we want to also style it. So we'll give it a background. Background of, so I'll give it a red color. So this is a red color, DC0000, and I'll make, so when we hover on this navigation link, we want the writing to be white. Okay, so I'll say white, yeah, and save it. So if I come here and refresh, so you see that I gave it a background of red. So when I put my mouse on it, my cursor on it, I have a red background that is showing, and the writing is white. This is what we have specified in here. And after this, I need to style my list. Nav, I will say nav unordered list here. And I will say list style. List style none. Margin, say 0. And padding also V0. Okay, and I will also style navigation LI. I'll give it a margin. I need to give it a margin top 0 pixels. Yeah, 0. Now let me say 0 pixel. No, I'll just say margin. Okay. If I refresh to see what is happening, okay. I need to reduce margin top. And okay, so the next thing to style is the submenu. I'll say nav submenu, and so I need to style the links, and I'll say font size 1 EM. On the color, I'll give it a gray color. Okay, and I'll say border from the left to EM. So I need to style the border left, the left side of the border, and I will say white. Okay. What padding? I need to add some padding to it. Let's say 0.8. And the background, I'll give it some gray background as well. So I would say I think this one is fine. I think this is okay. So I'll also do this nav submenu A, but this one hover. When you hover it, so I'll give it a background. The very same background. Okay, I have this color. This is 0000, and the color will be also be white. I think that's pretty. Huh? So the next thing I need, so I need to style my footer. Nav footer, the button. It will have a position absolute. Top 0, left 0 as well. No border to it. None. Pardon. The calc 1 minus 2 pixels. The width 100%. And I'll say cursor. Pointer. So what did I put for my span? Let me think again. Okay, so I need to change this cursor, say pointer. I think that's it. Now this is O instead of U. And I think I'm good to go. Outline will be none. Background. This will also be gray. I guess that's it. Opacity, say 0. So that's it. So this is actually how my code looks like. So this is how our site is looking. So we want to make these ones, these menu items, their background needs to be white. So what we have to do is to add it here. We can say background white. And so, all right. So there's a little disconnect between these two colors, so we need to change. So we go to the sub menu here. So we say we will change the color. We'll give it color of 6. 6. I guess this will be okay. And so the background, we will rather give it the color white. Background white. So okay. So let's also reduce border radius. Let's make it to 4. Everywhere we put 5, we change the border radius to 4 pixels. And try to see the impact it's going to have on the look of our navigation. Okay, I think this one looks much more better. And let's say the border of the border left here, we want it to show because it's having the same color as the background. So we will give it another color. Let's say DC, DC, DC. Okay. And refresh. No, that's not it. Let's come back. Let's say white. Okay, I think white was okay. So we will leave it like this, but we will rather change this background. We will give it a gradient, a linear gradient color. This is how we're going to do it. Maybe 2 pixels. And say F. Okay, let me see how it looks. Okay, I think it looks okay. So now we have the border on the left side, which is showing. So we also maybe would want to add some few animation to our most of the elements of our navigation. For example, the navigation will add a duration. Say 5 seconds. Let's say 4. And we can also add that ease in effect. We'll say ease in out. I think that's pretty it. We can add another effect on the header as well. Config transform origin 00. Okay, and the transition, we say transform var duration var is color duration variable is in. Okay. And we add another transition delay. We say var delay out. No. Okay. I think we can copy this one, add it to the next, which one? This navigation A. I think yeah, that's pretty much it. We will also add it to the footer, the button. But as for this, we will change this. Okay, a delay will say duration. So this is to add some transition, some effect to our navigation. As you could see from the beginning, when I clicked on the toggle button, I could have some transition effect in my navigation. And I think the next, the last tags that I need to style will be this nav that closed A and nav closed header. And, so let me copy this effect and I'm just going to change this. I will say translate Y Time of a calc var top -1. And scale 0.1. Okay, and scale x 0.2. And transition delay, I'll also have to change this. Var delay in. So these are actually just for the transition, the effect that it's going to have. So I guess that's pretty much it for CSS. So as you can see here, when I put my cursor on the menu item, when I hover, it the background changes to red, and you see that there's a kind of transition as well on the menu items. See, so that's it. So now I think the last part is now to add the script. So So as I was saying, for the script, I will just copy and paste. This is a JavaScript script that I will use in my code. So I will add it in my HTML file. So just after the closing of the nav tag, I'll paste my script. So I have the first script here, and then this one, and then this is the second script for the transitions and the effects that I have, that I will have when I reload my my page. Okay, so after I copy this script, when I come and refresh, I think there must be something in here. So I forgot to add a line of code, this line here, nav.closed footer button, and in the CSS file, and I copied and pasted this script, JavaScript. So from here, so I'll find a way to share this script with you guys. So just copy and paste and make sure that the class, your navigation class, okay, this nav menu is the same here. Okay, whatever I have nav menu, it's making reference to the nav menu that I put here. okay, when I added my nav tag and I gave the class nav menu. And this is what I have here in my script. So when I come and load this page, see, I have the animation, and this is how my navigation bar has been created. So thanks guys for watching this video, and I hope it has been informative. And if you like it, don't forget to comment, to share, and to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. Thanks a lot for viewing.